Yo, what's going on, everybody? I'm still here in LA. Yesterday, I didn't have a chance to make a video, but I'm here today. All right, so the market's doing well. I think short term, it could be getting ahead of itself a little bit. Fiscal flows are good, they're solid, but this month we saw a pretty big, drain from the peak deficit, which was like on January 12th, we had like a 119 billion deficit. And remember, again, I'll explain for those of you who are new to this channel, but the deficit of the government adds to the financial balances of the economy. So a 119 billion deficit means that 119 billion net transfer to the financial balances of the economy. So that's good. I mean, that's again the swimming pool analogy. You want to see the pool water going up. That floats everything. That keeps the economy strong. But it dropped all the way down to 36 billion. So, you know what? Almost like a 40 billion I'm sorry, like an 80 billion reduction. So an 80 billion drain. We still have a small deficit for the month, but a lot of it has been drained away. So I think the market is just going to kind of spin its wheels around here. If you remember, this was the level I said, maybe even back in late December. I said we're going to get the S&P up to between 4,000 and 4,100. I mean, it's exactly where we are. I said this is where we're going to be. And we're coming into a period at the end of this month, January 31st, there's going to be another tax drain. February should be good up through the 15th. I keep repeating this, but I give you guys the roadmap. I give you these are like the charts, the navigation charts that I'm telling you. I'm giving them to you. February 15th is a quarterly interest payment. So fiscal flows should peak around February 15th. And the flows are doing really, really well. We're up anywhere from 13 to 16% over December 2022. And that's another thing that I said to you guys last year. I said when 2023 starts, we're going to see a significant increase in the fiscal. Now, it's kind of funny for me anyway, because when I read Twitter and other comments online, you see the kind of like the frustration or the how baffled the monetarists are, the monetarist zombies, because they see everything. Of course, that's their analytical framework, and they see everything through that single variable analytical framework of monetarism, which, by the way, they don't really even understand. All right, they have a very, very unsophisticated, almost kind of like amateurish understanding of monetary policy. Which that in and of itself is kind of funny when I hear them comment about it. But like, there's this one guy who I follow on Twitter. His name is Alf. That's his handle. He's supposedly some former, I don't know, asset manager, hedge fund guy or something. He's got a lot of followers. I think in the hundreds of thousands, maybe more. I don't know. He's got a lot of followers. But I put up a quote here. A tweet that he put out today, where you could see like he's expressing this kind of, he's baffled. He doesn't understand. He said, like, the only way to explain the market's, what the market is doing right now, he says it's behaving like everyone's expecting a new round of QE, quantitative easing. I mean, because, right, it has to fit. These monetarists have to rationalize everything that happens within their monetarist analytical framework. I mean, they don't, it's not that they don't want to see outside of that, but they consider anything outside of that framework as inconsequential. Okay, they don't talk about fiscal policy. I mean, this guy in this comment, like the markets are behaving like they expect QE. First of all, the Fed never even hinted at, they're going to do QE anywhere in any time in the near future. And as a matter of fact, as we all know, like the Fed has been communicating this kind of tough guy, macho, Volckerish approach to their monetary policy right now. Like, we got to keep raising rates. We got to keep raising rates. So, I mean, it's a stretch. I think it's a big stretch when this guy says, "Oh, the markets the only way to explain this is that they're behaving like they expect another round of QE." There's been nothing communicated by the Fed, even to the slightest degree, that would suggest another round of QE. But he's got to come up with something, because when you have a single variable analytical framework, that's the only way you see things. Okay? It'd be like having, binoculars that's the vision, it shows you everything upside down. And you go around telling people, "Gee, I don't understand why that car is, parked on its roof." And you're like, "It's not. It's parked normally." "No, it's not. Look, you're looking through that. The thing is strapped on his head." He sees the car upside down. He sees people walking around the street upside down, because that's the thing he looks through. That's his analytical framework. Everything else outside of that is meaningless to him. So he doesn't see that we have had a significant increase in the fiscal support since the record contraction in fiscal in the first half of 2022. I was all over that, and I was telling you guys about this. The first half of 2022 last year was a record contraction in fiscal. Remember, Biden was cheering, "Oh, look, we cut the deficit by $2 trillion. Yeah, you took $2 trillion out of the balances of the economy. I mean, it was a record amount of drain. Talk about draining the swimming pool. We went down through the bottom of the swimming pool. There was nothing. It was as dry as Death Valley in the summertime. So he doesn't see this. He doesn't see this. It lies outside of his analytical framework. And all of these guys, because everybody's a monetarist. Not here at this channel. Certainly not me. And I try to help you to understand these things, through a much broader lens, and an understanding that's concise, that's real, that's reality of how things work. But I just think it's kind of comical. And here's what I think is going to happen. I think the second half of the year is shaping up as a great irony. Because, and it depends again what happens with the debt ceiling, but we know that Treasury can operate with these extraordinary measures, making payments through June. That's it, through June. And we know that the Freedom Caucus, which basically is in control in the House of Representatives, is run by a virulent, extreme deficit, anti-government spending zealot, this guy named Chip Roy from Texas, this congressman from Texas, Chip Roy. The guy's a mental retard. He thinks, I don't know what he thinks, we're living on a gold standard or something like that, and he just has everything wrong. And the guy is an extreme anti-government spending. I mean, he wants deep cuts in spending. They're not going to raise looks kind of a little bit precarious, I have to say, with respect to the debt ceiling. So anyway, let me just put this out there, how I think it's going to play out. And it's going to be funny. it's going to be funny on the one hand, then it's going to get really kind of nasty with regard to the economy, but we can make money. So anyway, what's going to happen is that eventually these monetarists, by the time June rolls around, they're going to give up on their, or they're going to start, let's put it this way, they're going to start to believe in the soft landing, like inflation's going to come down a little bit more, and then their narrative is going to become, oh, we're going to get a soft landing. In other words, like the Fed has engineered this through their monetary policy, and we're going to get a soft landing. And then all of these bearish bets, they're going to throw in the towel. They're going to throw in the towel right around June, right around the time when it comes, right around the time when the whole debt ceiling debacle hits. And they're going to reverse their positions. They're going to throw away their bearish bets. They're going to exit those bearish bets that they've had on now for, since March 2021 or since last year when the Fed started raising rates. They're going to exit that, and they're going to get long the market. They're going to turn into reborn bulls because they're going to say, oh, we got the soft landing. Because they have to rationalize it somehow, right? If the market keeps going up, it's like this guy saying, well, it must be because they think QE is coming. And by the time June comes, they'll be saying, well, it must be because we have a soft landing. And that's when the debt ceiling thing is going to hit. We're going to get cuts in spending. I explained before that's a vicious cycle to the bottom. I mean, you go into that hard debt ceiling where the Fed no longer has where Treasury no longer has the room or the measures, like these extraordinary measures, to make these payments, and you start cutting spending to stay within the debt limit. You start cutting spending, the economy slows down, less taxes mean the government's got to cut spending more to stay with. It's exactly the same like if you're on a gold standard or a fixed exchange rate and you don't have the gold, or you don't have the other currency, the foreign currency that you need to back your currency or debt. I mean, we put ourselves in this position with this ridiculous, insane, idiotic debt ceiling, and you have these zealots and these imbeciles, lawmakers in Congress, who don't understand, who think we're living in a world where you dig your money up out of the ground somewhere. I mean, come on, folks, it's 2023. I mean, their understanding of the monetary system is so archaic and so backward. I mean, you might as well be in some freaking, lost jungle tribe somewhere, worshiping the gods. I mean, it's just absolutely insane. But this is what we're facing. But I'll get a big kick at it. I'm going to get a big kick at it. Because number one, I'm going to make money from this. And I don't like making money off of other people's hardships. And believe me, when the economy, when they really do a number on the economy because of this debt ceiling. And I think Americans I'm starting to think now that Americans need to learn this the hard way. Because most people, maybe not you people who follow me on this channel, but I think most people, and I'm sure you've had the occasion, probably more than once, to talk to whatever, relatives or colleagues at work or friends, and you get into these conversations and they're like, no, they're spending our tax money, they're spending like drunken sailors, all this kind of cliches that you hear all the time. They got to learn. And the only way we're going to learn is, when it goes down hard. And I'm starting to think that needs to happen. That needs to happen because, if you're not going to learn a lesson through opening up your mind and taking in more knowledge and understanding, then you're going to have to learn it the hard way. There's two ways you could learn it. You could learn it proactively by, opening up your mind and thinking about new ideas and, questioning the way things work. Or you could just resist that and it's going to be forced down your throat the hard way. And they still might not learn it. Because then if we go in recession and stay in recession in the deep, in the second half of 2023 and then in 2024 and we stay in there, they're going to say, oh, you see, it was because the Fed raised interest rates and there was a lag time. That was the problem. There was a lag time, but now it's hitting. No, it's going to be like everything else. It's tied to the fiscal flows. So as a nation, we're going to learn it one way or another. I don't care because I have the understanding to protect myself, to profit from it. Some of you maybe have that now too, but and maybe it won't happen. Maybe they'll figure the debt ceiling out and maybe they'll come to some kind of an agreement. But I don't know. The politics right now, to me, looks really, really that it entered a whole new phase of extremism, especially when it comes to government finance. So just wanted to put that out there. Anyway, that's it for today, folks. I'm back in New York on Saturday. But I'm enjoying my time out here in LA. Got a little sunshine. It's nice, man. It was so gloomy and gross in New York, cold and gray. Nice to see a little sunshine. Anyway, see you.